Okay.
Yes, again.
Hello, my name is Ashraf Umin Hassan. Today, me and my group are presenting you an analysis of suicide rates in Turkey.
My name is Abdulkadir.
My name is Davut Yasir Canov. Yes, we start with problem definition. The research aims to comprehend the complexity of suicide data. We use a variety of datasets, including age-specific population segments, happiness levels reported in the past, and regional suicide rates. The intention is to apply the findings of the study a suicide prevention program that can be managed by a non-profit organization or the government. We have main research question is what are the major causes behind observed patterns in suicide rates over the years? And it has one hypothesis about it. There are identifiable and significant external factors contributing to observed patterns in suicide rates over the years. And these factors may include socioeconomic changes, cultural shifts, or changes in mental health, awareness, and support. Let's talk about datasets and sources. First sets is age happiness percentage. According to a study, this dataset includes statistics on recorded happiness rate for different age groups. Second, education level and suicide. This dataset includes information on suicide rates categorized by education levels. Gender happiness percentage. This dataset contains the on the population's satisfaction levels and recorded gender. Then suicide gender is dataset contains suicide statistics broken down by gender and year. And why suicide month? This dataset includes monthly suicide data and believed reason behind suicide. And WHO statistic, this dataset includes a regional and national estimation of rates. This data is from TWIC and WHO. And EDA part.
Okay, to better understand datasets, actually you can stay that slide. Go back. One more. To better understand datasets, we transform them into a more readable format. Actually, not included in this presentation. You can check the initial and final versions of datasets in the notebook. Additionally, we didn't just fix the format, we also evaluated missing values appropriately, either by removing them or replacing them with the mean value of the respective column. You can change slide. We created various graphs to answer research questions, carefully choosing the right ones to analyze relationships. For instance, we used heat map and line graph to clear visualizations. In this graph, you can observe the distribution of total suicide cases over the years by gender. We categorize the data using the suicide gender, suicide gender year datasets, allowing us to break down the numbers by gender. Another graph based on World Health Organization data compared continental suicide rates with those in Turkey. This dataset broadened our perspective and added that to the projects. You can change. For monthly suicide numbers, I initially aimed to show them using a line graph. However, due to the close values making interpretation challenging, I opted for, you can change. I opted for a heat map. Both graphs are included in the slide to better illustrate the difference. Can you change the slide? Similarly, I categorized suicide reasons, and to better visualize the distinctions, I transformed it into a heat map. Since the values were closely aligned, you can change again. You can see the heat map. And we take a general look to our visualizations. If you want, you can find more in the notebook file. Now I will hand it over to Davut to explain other research questions.
Yes, we can look at the research questions. Second research question is how the happiness percentages correlate with suicide rates among different age groups. This research question is there is a significant correlation between happiness percentages and suicide rates. And we have two graphs about it. First of all, gender happiness percentage distribution. But data indicate that we can see there have not significantly influenced suicide rates on graphs because çok mutsuz, yani very unhappy number of very unhappy women and men is very low, we can see, and mutlu, happy and very happy number is very high. So happiness rates have not significantly influenced suicide rates on the graphs. Particularly, it has been observed that the suicide rates among individuals aged 20-24 are especially high. We can see the graphs, that graph, and 20 and 24 is very high, the other age groups. However, in the last 6 to 7 years, there has been an increase in suicide cases among elderly individuals. This phenomenon can be explained by various challenges associated with aging, such as social isolation, here, health issues, and economic difficulties, maybe. Therefore, understanding and preventing suicide require the development of age-specific strategies. And Ashraf, you can continue.
Okay, so with the available data, we cannot find an important or a noticeable influence of happiness rates on the recorded suicide rates. We can infer from the data that this phenomenon is linked to various challenges associated with aging and other issues like social isolation, health issues, and economic difficulties. So to understand and prevent, and lower suicide rates, it would be recommended to develop age-specific strategies. You can see here in this graph a machine learning model, linear regression, used to fit the actual and available data. You can see that you can notice that the overall behavior of data is decreasing. You can therefore extrapolate a decreasing trend in the Chuk-Mutlu category for men. Now let's talk about our last other research question, our last secondary research question, which asks whether there is evidence to suggest that a higher education level is correlated with a lower suicide rates, and if that is the case, what factors contribute to this correlation? Our hypothesis here is that higher education levels are correlated with lower suicide rates and vice versa. Next step. We can go to next step. So we observe a slight and minor correlation between a higher education levels and a lower suicide rates. However, we cannot clearly and definitely say that there is a link between them. Now, concerning the possible tests and machine learning that we can techniques that we can implement on this data, we can use k-means. With the mean of suicide rates over the overall period for each population group. So now, concerning observations that we did for the main question, we as you can see here in this graph, the first graph shows us the data about the overall suicide rates for men. The second two graphs shows us data about specific age groups, specifically between 20 and 24 and 25 and 25 and 29. You can see that for the overall main population, there's no change in linear behavior. There's no significant break and modification at a specific year. But for the last two ones, we can see a significant change at around 2016, 2015, 16, and 2017. So we fitted here a linear regression from the beginning to this date, 2016, and from 2016 and afterwards, you can see that there's a change in linear behavior. So you can infer that a significant event happened in the country. We can, for example, say that some social and economic events of national impact happened in the country. For example, we know that in 2018 there was a trade and tariff conflict between Turkey and the United States, and this economical dispute between these countries resulted in some economic difficulties in Turkey. So we can maybe infer from this data that around this period some economic events happened some economic events that happened that impacted these segments of the population. Next slide. So for the potential products and how we can implement and use our project in the real world, this project is more non-profit centered. So we do not have a clear idea about how this project can be used in a for-profit objective, but for a non-profit organization or for a government, using our research efforts and our research products to lead an anti-suicide and suicide prevention campaign of national or regional range. This is something that can be possible, and this is a potential use of our research. Next slide.
Daoud, data engineering part is yours.
In two issues related to data engineering part, data quality and consistency, and data cleaning and pre-processing. Ensuring the accuracy, completeness, and consistency of data is crucial, and this is very important data engineering part. And data cleaning and pre-processing. Raw data often requires cleaning and pre-processing to remove outliers, handle missing values, and standard formats. Like these data sets actually is a lot of non-values and outliers, etc. So we have to pre-process and clean it. So it's big issues. Ethics part.
About the ethics part, since the use cases of our research is not a for-profit usage, the kind of dangers and risks about ethics are of a lesser degree. But however, we have to make sure that the data we use is taken from reliable organizations or from governments, and to even go further, we can also make sure that that the data that the organization giving us the data gather the data in a good way with the consent of the relevant population.
Yes.
So it's important to use publicly available data.
And this is conclusion part, and we can skip this. Sources, and thank you for attention.
Okay.